Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations and I am back. This video is my spring decks. All the decks that I think have a spring-like energy that I would use in the spring season. Okay, so you've now seen hopefully my tier ranking video, all the decks I own. Yeah, I meant to do that a while ago. I also meant to do the winter decks, but as you saw, my winter was very time crunched with videos. So you've gotten a lot of content, but we're back on our game and doing things in a timely fashion and not rushing. So anyway, what do we have here? I have 4 decks, so this video is not going to be very long. And I have to say that, I'm missing one. Okay, I'm glad I noticed that. Anyway, 5 decks. I have 5 decks. And before I go on, first I have to say this is not my deck. I do not own this deck. I am borrowing it. Probably only for a year. So, yeah. But once again, I have put my decks in order for the deck and walk. And now things are weird. So, please, I apologize for the glare, but I need the light. This is the Universal Goddess Tarot. This box is beat all up. Not in a rush to replace it, though, because it comes in this nifty bag, which is getting old, but it's still very nice. And this is a low Scarabeo deck. I talked about it a little bit in the tier ranking, the tarot video. It is an older low Scarabeo, so it does have the 6 languages. It comes with a little guidebook and the very simple definitions of each card. 14 pages. That's all of English. So, yeah. What are the languages again? I do not remember. English, Italian. I'm trying not to glare while I do other things. English, Italian, Spanish, French, and Dutch. This is a cartoon type of art style, which I don't hate, but for tarot, I didn't love. I picked this up before, or I had really settled into my personal spiritual practice, my witchcraft practice. I knew I wanted something more goddess oriented than the Christianity and Catholicism and Protestant denominations that I grew up with, but I wasn't sure which. And I picked this because I thought maybe it would help me learn the goddesses, but it did not. To this day, I don't recognize most of these. And I have to look at the guidebook to know which goddesses. However, now I realize it still works as a perfectly good tarot deck. Just ignoring the fact that these are all supposed to be goddesses and so ignoring the cultural appropriation, the inclusion of spirits, entities, beliefs that are not goddesses from other cultures, that in other peoples they don't consider them goddesses. Like this, I believe, is Kuan Yin. Let me just double check that. But I'm pretty sure, and not quite, but better than. And she's the Queen of Wands. Yeah. This, I believe, is that? Yemaya? Definitely not a goddess. Weird. Not a goddess. What the guidebook says, I'm Yemaya, Yoruban ruler of the depths of the sea. I'm the goddess of generosity, good feelings, love, tolerance, and fidelity. Which may or may not be. Is she a good pick for Queen of Cups? I can see it, but I don't see why more than. Some are really obvious, like Aphrodite for the lovers, and others are not. But this is pretty broad with the cultural interpretations and inclusions. Oh my god. Bridget is the King of Wands, and I feel that. Like, why do we have Native American spirits, beliefs, practices in here? I don't know. But anyway, you can guess who that is. Knowing this, what was I saying before about my practice? Oh yeah, so I didn't wind up using this a lot. I put it to the side because I didn't. I had a couple of other decks that were like this in that they had multiple goddesses, but one got really damaged. It was the one deck, because I think I've talked about it, but if not, I had like water damage happen in my apartment, and it happened to happen right over my altar and the shelves that had the very few decks I owned at the time. So some of them got wet, and one of them took the brunt of it, and I wound up giving that away. Someone wanted cards that were damaged for reasons I don't know. But now I am suspicious it might have been for the Alleyman Tarot. I don't know. Putting that aside, yeah, my spiritual practice has evolved. I do practice a particular belief system, and so have dealing with other goddesses that don't fit. It just feels weird. I don't mind knowing about them, but doing anything spiritually is not my thing. So yes, why do I think this is a spring deck? I should have said that while I was going through it. I'm trying not to get them out of order, by the way, because I don't want to put them back in. Actually, these are not in order, now that I think about it. It's the colors. It's very colorful. It feels like there are a lot of flowers. One of my favorite cards is in here. I do like this one as well. Look at her go. Where is she? I like... There she is, the Eight of Wands. This reminds me of Blodeuwedd. This is not Blodeuwedd from the Welsh tradition, but like the flowers everywhere. When I think of this deck, I think about this card, which is weird because one, this Eight of Wands is one of those cards where I really just often have no idea what the hell is going on that card. The traditional RWS. But this is Flora, which I should have known. And a Roman goddess of flowering. Lie down with me on this soft grassy carpet. Smell the fragrances of spring. Close your eyes and dream your most beautiful dream. I am Flora, Roman goddess of flowering. So, not the traditional, but I like it. I just, it's the coloring. It has a soft feel. Even the negative cards, like, they give the right vibe, the negative cards, but, you know, the dark side of the tarot. They give the feel they're supposed to, the energy they're supposed to, but overall this deck feels very fresh, very young, and exploring the world And it might be the art style, which, like I said, I don't hate. It's just weird to me in tarot form because I don't have any other like cartoon animation type decks. That opinion might change given that. But yeah, that's why this deck is here. I have to give a... I love this Sun card, even though, once again, why is she... But yes, an international goddess deck. The Universal Goddess Tarot. My disclaimer, I will not necessarily be using all of these decks this spring. I will be using this one because I have started to use it for certain types of readings, full, new, dark moon readings, and Sabbath readings, the Wiccan Wheel of the Year, holidays, that kind of thing. So that was the first one, and that took forever. Right, Lashette, you're supposed to talk about the deck a little bit and why you think it's a spring deck. So next, I have the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith, the only RWS deck I own, and probably the only one I will ever own. If you are new to my channel, I don't like the original artwork style. It's too heavy on the black, like, screen print, and I understand why. That was, you know, kind of block stampy screen print, not screen print, newsprint type. It's older than both of those, but that's the printing types that they had back then. Once again, I apologize for any glare. I'm trying, but the angle I'm seeing is different from the angle you're seeing. So yeah, I like this version because the colors are more saturated, which is something I greatly prefer. So here's a little white book, which I often forget is in here after all of this time. This is in order, so I'm going to try to keep it in order. I'm doing the deck and walk, so for ease of finding things, I'm trying to keep my cards in a certain order. So yeah, Arthur E. Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith. Again, I didn't hate her art. It wasn't working for me. And that's okay. Why do I think this is springy? Ultimately, it's not cartoonish like the previous one, but there's something similar. Like, their faces are not quite defined, which I am totally okay with. I've realized either I like the people's facial expressions to be over the top and very dramatic, or like barely there at all, and that's fine. But yeah, it's the richness of color. I think that is doing it for me, and it's not what I would consider summer colors, but like they're not quite primary. So yeah, I don't know. I barely work with this deck other than with studying, and that's what I'm using it for right now because I don't like it. Well, yeah, one card or a couple, 2 or 3 cards every 10 days is it's not bad. So that is, it feels a little soft without the thicker black line art, but it does its job. Next, I have my first Oracle deck. This is the Soul Trees Oracle cards. This is an indie deck. I guess first edition. Comes with this gratitude stone. And it has a very slim white book. This is by Allison Williams Yee, and she explicitly states that, you know, she kept it simple. You do the intuitive work to figure out any more in-depth reading wise. So again, I feel like I've picked all of the shiny cardstock when I have to have the light on. But moving on. Yeah, so it's all trees and it's all watercolor. It has a soft-ish feeling, and either they have no leaves or a lot of them have blossoms, and that's most of them. Even these are kind of negative, the resistant card, and it's doppelgangers, as I call them. Well, they don't quite give off a spring vibe, but in general, this deck does. Some obviously are older trees with leaves, but they're not defined. Even if there are flowers, this looks like that like chakra tree necklace that's really popular in New Age stores. And yeah, it's a comfort deck, and I definitely feel late spring, except for specific cards, but like in a general sense. And like, even the darker tone cards, they give off like spring at night, and then we have the chakra cards, which are outside of time almost. But yeah, so that is the soul trees, and I don't know if I'm gonna use this spring season, but maybe. I hope I don't need to explicitly state it, but I've shown the backs of each of these. These are the backs of this one, FYI. It is a nice dirty box. Next, we've got the Simplicity Tarot. This is the Red Rose edition and indie edition. Yeah, this is an indie edition. It's now available via US Games. I do not believe this gold holograph. I'm going to go with holographic foiling is on the box. I know for a fact, look at that there's the inside, which is so cool. And yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I know for a fact that this red foiling, and when it's in the order that it came in, there are holographic stars as well. But yeah, so it's pretty, okay? It's pretty. And there's the Ace of Wands. I have this separate for something else I was doing, which I'll eventually get back to. So this is, I'm not using in the deck and walk, but yeah, a nice chunky guidebook. This is by Emily Muniz, who is a local, and that's a big reason why I wanted this deck, because buying local, supporting a local artist is an indie deck, her first deck, and she's a Latina, Hispanic woman, so, you know, supporting my people, but also a person of color, a woman of color, and her small business, all of that stuff. So the Simplicity Tarot, I will probably definitely not be using this spring because I'm doing the deck and walk, and this is called such because it removes the esoteric or majority of the esoteric symbolism, and it gives it to you very simple meanings. There are keywords on the cards, and that's it. Like, don't have to do a lot of work, and we appreciate you for that. Okay, I don't know what was going on there, so I'm just gonna I don't know why these are, maybe I do know why. But anyway, so kind of a RWS clone, but simplified. I like, it's very pretty. The colors are a little more subdued, and because of these like garlands on every card, which almost always have flowers, it definitely gives spring vibes. Again, there are 2 extra cards. This is one of them. Spiritual Guide. Is the other one here? No. Okay. So that's cool. Look at this man's face. He is ready to lay the smackdown. Oh, here's the other extra card, Spiritual Cleansing. And I keep them in the deck. They fit when I do readings for whatever. Again, I don't know why I have certain cards backwards. I'm just gonna leave them like that. But yeah, it's a soft coloring. The other thing is there's a mix of people, ages, I don't want to say race or color. And quite a few of the backgrounds are, yeah. So what happens is, in these very RWF scenes, I get stuff like this where I'm like, oh wait, I'm in here, which is très cool. And guys, I don't know what I did, why these look like this. This one still has some esotericness to it, but yeah, the colors are a little softer. Some of them are different perspectives. Like this 4 of coins, dude is way close, and not hugging his coins. But yeah, it's just the art is like I said, the color is a little softer. The art is just a little cartoonish, and I love that for me. Maybe I just shuffled badly, because for the life of me, this is the card on the box, minus the gold foiling, and yeah, there's our Fool. Okay, last but not least, the Baseball Tarot. I am not a baseball fan. I'm not really a major sports fan. I used to really be into ice skating and gymnastics, but they removed those from regular television, like broadcast TV. And I'm not paying extra, like, since they're not baseball or basketball or football, they don't even come in like a regular sports package. So yeah, it is baseball season. Baseball season begins in the spring. Literally 2 days ago, the Yankees started. I live not too far from Yankee Stadium, so I have no choice but to know these things. I mentioned in the walkthrough I did of this of this deck, I think out of all 5, no, I've done a walkthrough of the Simplicity Tower as well. I think those are the only 2 out of these 5. But yeah, so it comes like this. It's old. It's by Mark Lerner and Laura Phillips. Workman Publishing, New York. So I'm going to say I think it is still, this is, I hate this. This like foamy inside. I believe this is still available to buy. If I am wrong, I shall put it on the screen. This one is also in order for the deck and walk because I was curious. But there's like spring training, spring baseball season, spring, like, you know. These cards are also very shiny. Thank you, Simplicity Tarot, for being mostly matte. So yeah, this has an old time baseball vibe. Not super intense or anything like that. Not super saturated. It has soft coloring. It also has look at these like 80s television show graphics here on the back. The artwork is old fashioned as well. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Because I can't do this like this. Like I said, I have them in order for a reason, for something. And okay, I'll do it like that. I want to keep that order. Yeah, so once again, the soft coloring, the kind of earthy tones, which baseball makes sense, and the sport itself lending itself to spring just does it. There are some scenes where it's more softball, which I'm hardly an expert on. I probably know less about softball than I do about baseball. So there's that. But yeah, the variety of ages I like. It's just a soft quality to this, even though this deck is direct as hell. Like, I really like this deck. I might have to find my own copy. Because baseball culture has become so engendered into our culture here in the USA. Some of these things are just like, you just know without watching baseball, because terms are used in regular everyday life, taken from baseball. And yeah, so I'm already using this deck. I will continue to use this deck. I don't know if I'll use it for the entirety of the spring season this year, but maybe I will, because I don't own this. I'm borrowing it. It's a long-term loan, if you will. This deck is very baseball, I want to add, so I feel like it has a friendly vibe to it that it's like a pickup game. Is it called pickup game when they're for baseball? I don't remember. But yeah, those are the decks for spring, or the decks I own. I feel have a spring vibe, a springy vibe. And having talked this out, I realized, like, yes, the colors, but not too bright, not too saturated. A lot of different colors here, except for the baseball tarot. Though there's enough of a variety of colors. The kind of animated or animation style artwork with these three or four, if we include baseball tarot, like old animation or old drawing styles, and soft colors, like slightly desaturated, not pastels, though this one gives me lots of, or these two both give me lots of pastels. I guess these are pastels as well, I don't know. there's like a pointillism thing going. Like a grainy TV thing going with this one. But yeah, so, and then the general vibe is calm and bright, uplifting. So yeah, these are the decks of mine that fit this season of spring. Let me know down below what you think of this video. Leave me a little sakura flower. That's the pink 5 petal flower in your emojis. Sakura or cherry blossom, excuse me. And so let me know if you've gotten this far, you want to support. Leave that in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you have any of these decks, and do they give you a spring vibe? Links in the description to all of the videos I've mentioned, and if I mention any other channels and creators and all the decks I've talked about here. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Other links in the description are to my social media, Instagram and Twitter if you like to follow me on any of those, as well as a 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for witchy and mundane purposes. I also offer readings, tarot and oracle card readings, so you could get a reading with one of these decks if you are interested. Just follow that link and use the discount code specifically for you guys. And guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.